What's up, everybody? Weston here with the Hidden Gibbon, back with another Daily Deck Tech video, and today I wanted to talk about tutors and game changers, why I don't really play them, and why you don't see a lot of them in my deck tech videos. So, we're going to get into that, but if you think that I'm doing a good job, and only if, feel free to subscribe. You don't have to. And if you're enjoying my discussion videos, which are more off the cuff and they're not scripted because I stutter if I try to read off a script, let me know in the comments down below. If there's a subject or topic you want to see discussed, let me know that as well. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, what are game changers? Game changers in Commander are a set of cards that have been deemed by the new powers that be in Commander under the new bracket system as things that really kind of take over or warp a game. They're pretty clearly defined, and the list does change over time. For example, Farewell here was just recently added, and then some have been taken off. Generally speaking, they create sometimes a feel-bad moment, or they are considered toxic for gameplay styles such as Moxfield and I'll, or they really warp the game around them. And so when I go to build a deck, I try to actually actively avoid game changers unless I'm specifically trying to build a high-powered, high-budget deck, or if I'm doing a viewer request, somebody specifically requests that I make it a bracket 3. But do you want to know the main reason I don't put game changers or a lot of the tutors into my deck techs, or even into my paper decks? It's because a lot of them cost $1 billion. Oh yes, friends. A lot of these cost a lot of money. Let's take a click here. Humility, $54 American. 38 euros? That's not great. That is a pretty expensive card. Teferi's Protection, $40 for a cheap one. Yeah, I mean, I only have 3 now. I opened one up in the booster box that my wife got me for my birthday, which I have that video if you want to see a very long opening video. But yeah, going through, we have Force of Will, $60. Of course, if you get the Amonkhet invocation, it's $333. There was actually a guy who opened one of these at pre-release. This is a side tangent. And this guy is known for just absolutely obliterating cards. Anybody who's from the Waterloo Cedar Falls area that watches this video will know exactly who I'm talking about here. But yeah, a lot of these cost a lot of money. And right now, and something I've noticed throughout doing my deck techs, is a lot of folks comment that if my deck that I build for a deck tech gets above $500 or $600, I get comments like, man, who's this deck for? I can't afford this deck. And you know what? That's completely understandable. Me? My Lysa deck here, $150, soaking wet, right? I do have a couple that are $1,000. My Legacy deck is over $2,000. But most of my decks, honestly, are $300 or less. Unless the commander's expensive, right? Like Kratos, and I'm building Jin Sakai right there. But that cost really eats into what I can do in terms of the deck tech, right? It's either put 3 cards in that eat $300 worth of budget and then have everything else cost a nickel, or spread that $300 out amongst a lot of cards to make a stronger overall deck for an equivalent amount of money without those 3 cards. And to be honest with you, if you're not playing tutors, or you don't have, because some of the tutors are very expensive. Vampiric Tutor is expensive. Demonic Tutor is expensive. I know Diabolic Tutor is cheap, but Imperial Seal is not cheap. If you're not running a lot of active tutors, what's the odds of you actually finding those 3 game changers, right? Sure, you can crop rotation for your $1,000 Gaia's Cradle, but not everybody's able to do that. And secondly, not all pods are all that proxy friendly, and so you can't proxy those game changers sometimes. So that's it. That's honestly the biggest reason why I don't run game changers. It's like I said, primarily because of cost. I don't like driving up cost of a deck for 3 cards. Imperial Seal, $147, right? Some of the mana rocks, like Chrome Mox, 142. God help you if you want a Mox Diamond. From the vault is 1,000, almost 1,000 for one from Stronghold, right? Grim Monolith, you know, you're sitting here at 404 for the only tournament legal one. Guy's Cradle, $1,000. I remember when those were $35, friends. $35. That's what they were. Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. Someday I will own a tabernacle at Pendrell Vale. I will, as God is my witness. But I mean, even newer prints, right? Because those were mostly like old cards. But even like the One Ring, $100 for a regular printing, $87 for the cheapest printing of the One Ring, for a card that I'm really hoping gets like an Eternal Legal kind of sort of reprint in The Hobbit. I'm really hoping. We'll see if we get it, but I'm hoping. Now, I'm going to leave for 1 second, and then we're going to get to tutors, because I have a completely different reason for why I don't really build a lot of tutors and why I don't play a lot of tutors in my deck. So, be right back. And we're back. So, I have the Scryfall list here with a whole bunch of cards that do tutoring, because partner can technically tutor, which is weird. But, you know, we have all of these tutors in here, technically, and Arid Mesa Fetchland does tutor a land. But why don't I play things like Demonic Tutor, Diabolic Tutor, stuff like that? Well, consistency. I actually believe in having variability in my deck. I also think that tutors can become a crutch and make your deck more vulnerable and weaker. Hear me out, because I know what you're saying. Every single person on the internet is going to tell you that tutors will always make your deck stronger and better. I disagree. So, say you build your deck. Say you build, we're going to go with Lysa here. And you pack yourself in a Demonic Tutor, Diabolic Tutor, and a Demonic Tutor, Vampire Tutor, Diabolic Tutor. 3 tutors in here. Alright? And you build around the fact that you are going to try to tutor for some big card that you really need. So, you build more around you being able to tutor and already just guaranteed having that than you do an overarching interlocking strategy. Now, what happens, and what I've seen happen, and when I used to play a bunch of tutors, is, alright, tutor 1 gets countered. Yeah, it sets me back, but, you know, I got 2 more tutors. I get tutor number 2. Try it again. That gets countered. Okay, that's risky biscuits. Tutor 3 happens, and same thing. Because counters are a very common thing, especially at higher brackets in Magic the Gathering. And so now I'm left up Schitt's Creek without a paddle, right? My methods, and now I have to hope that I've built my deck to have enough draw engines in it and enough redundancy to be able to get in. And that is why I think tutors actually kind of become a crutch, is I don't run them because I want to build decks that can interlock strategies, multiple strategies that kind of have redundancy. So say you have a Voltron deck that can also do tokens, right? If something just absolutely collapses your Voltron strategy, I believe in having that token strategy as a backup. Some of my decks have 2 to 3 backup sub-themes in them that synergize well with my primary engines and gameplay. So that way, in case Big Chungus number 1 gets taken out, I have a backup plan. Whereas I found, and maybe this is a personal flaw, but let me know if it's happened to you too. When you play a lot of tutors, you cut things like card draw for tutors. You cut things like value engines for tutors. Sometimes you even cut lands for tutors. And when those tutors don't resolve or don't do what you want, you pretty quickly lose the game. So then I have to ask you, is it okay to not run tutors? I say yeah. I win a lot of games without running tutors. My Azusa deck, I don't think I run crop rotation in it anymore. The only two tutors I run are Natural Order and Fauna Shaman. Natural Order is a new addition to the deck, and to be honest with you, both of those cards could be cut today. And my deck still has above a 50% win rate on spell table and in in-person games. It is that efficient and that redundant that it has so many angles of attack that opponents cannot deal with everything. Now, I do understand that tutors are useful, and they do have a time and place for things. I especially think that tutors are useful for combo decks. I think that tutors are really good if you need to search up an answer for something, or if you're desperate and you need to get something that you need. Tutors are good. And I'm not saying don't run any tutors. It's a personal preference, after all. I'm just saying try building some more decks without tutors, right? See if you can build those interlocking strategies and see how much it impacts your win rate, whether for the positive or for the negative. But yeah, that's why I don't build a lot of my deck techs with tutors, and that's why I don't play a lot of them in my personal commander decks. Now, again, just like with Game Changers, if I'm building high power, like super efficient decks that are high budget, I still play tutors. Usually still not very many of them, but I do play them. But yeah, that's my logic behind both Game Changers and tutors. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I fully expect to get roasted for this one and probably just looked at like I'm a crazy person and have lost all credibility. But I do want to know, and I especially want to know from the folks that also play on a budget, if you agree about the game changer aspect of the monetary value eating up a lot of what you can do with a deck. But as always, I'm Weston with the Hidden Gibbon, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.